All right, let's start here. The border between the United States and Canada is to close to non-essential travel between the two countries due to the coronavirus pandemic. U.S. President Donald Trump announced today that the temporary closure was by mutual consent. The joint agreement is the latest effort by the U.S. and Canada to mitigate the spread of the virus following decisions by both countries to restrict some international travel. For the latest now, let's go to Washington. Kate Fisher joins us now. Kate, a very interesting choice of words by U.S. President Donald Trump, calling it the Chinese virus. Talk us through that.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way he has referred to it in the past, and he did again just now. Reporters brought him up on that and suggested that that was a racist thing to say, which he dismissed out of hand and saying that he was correct and accurate, that it started in China and therefore he could call it this. It perhaps signals to us that President Trump, who has been criticised for his somewhat lacklustre response to this in the initial stages of the crisis, is perhaps trying to find someone or a country to put the blame for all of this on. Clearly, the United States is undergoing, like the rest of the world, an enormous crisis, one that the president had never envisaged he would have to deal with, and he is looking for somewhere else for some of the blame, that the economic fallout and the health fallout of all this. And I think by him using this term does suggest that he is looking to pin that blame on China.
Yeah, let's talk about this temporary closure of the U.S. border to Canada. I heard the figure of about 30 days being thrown around there. Was that confirmed by the U.S. president?
Yeah, that is what Donald Trump said. He also seemed a bit vague about it, though. But yeah, that is the closest we have got. I think even the president is wary of predicting anything right this moment. The closure is for non-essential travel between the two countries, and it's been mutually agreed. Trade can continue. Exactly how that will work is not yet clear. There are also suggestions that the Trump administration may consider closing its southern border, that already contentious part of the country, to the border with Mexico, so that it is completely insulated from the north and the south. That hasn't happened yet, but there are suggestions that that is another precaution that the administration could decide to take.
He's also talking about taking a hospital ship, I think it's to New York. Talk us through what else came out of this press briefing.
Yeah, that's right. He has said that he will be sending a military ship to the port in New York, to New York Harbor, so that it can act as a temporary hospital for people in the city and the state. The understanding, I think, is that it would be used to treat people who would be normally going into hospital for other reasons, and that the coronavirus patients could therefore stay in one place in the hospitals that are already there, because they are set up with things like ventilators, breathing equipment and so on, whereas the military ships would be used for patients that can otherwise not get medical help in a usual hospital. He also said that he would be deploying a second ship to the west coast. I'm not quite sure yet which city that would be docked outside of, but clearly this idea of the military coming on to help with temporary hospitals is one that he's embraced.
All right, Kate, I'm afraid that's where we're going to have to leave it tonight. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Our correspondent in Washington, Kate Fisher there, the U.S. president saying he's going to send a big white ship with the Red Cross on the side of it to New York, as well as to somewhere on the west coast. Thank you very much indeed for your time this evening. Kate Fisher in Washington, France.